afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from Jordan. I would have
Good
loved to be
afternoon,
there.
ma'am.
Yeah, I would have loved to be there physically, but I have this urgent trip to Jordan. But I'm happy to be here with everyone. Thank you for joining in. Use of speech tools in therapy. In this presentation, we're going to take speech as verbal behavior. That is, talking the way you and I. So it's going to include language and communication. So don't look at speech just as sound production in this presentation. So we're going to look at speech tools. When we look at tools, let's look at what we're going to see in this presentation. Okay, there's an introduction. We have the speech tools for assessment. We have common features of speech assessment tools. We have oral tools. We have different oral tools, and then the conclusion. Okay? So, speech tools. Take your mind back to the farm. A farmer has cutlass, hoe, sickles, rake, plow, and every other type of tools. The same way in therapy, we have tools that help us do our job very well. The farmer knows what to do before planting the seed. The speech therapist or the therapist also know what tools to use before commencement of therapy. Okay, so the speech tools will range from assessment to oral tools like models of apple, models of banana, it can be in rubber form. And then you have flashcards. And those flashcards, they are used in different ways to improve expressive language, receptive language, as well as for articulation, as well as improving the oral musculature. Okay? I said earlier that we have speech tools for assessment and we have the one we use in therapy. So the one for assessment will be the one that we will use before therapy. So they tell us what's the problem, what's the severity of the problem. Are we comparing the child with the age mates? Or we just want to know this particular child, what are the deficient speech skills that are not there? So the speech tools for assessment, they can be formal or informal. The formal ones are developed by test specialists, we call them test developers. So those test developers will standardize the instrument by first testing a number of children within an age range. So the results are collated and they are used in a kind of table that look like a 4-figure table, where when you get a number, you go and check the psychometric measure interpreted by standard score, percentile, or age equivalent. So those standardized test tools can actually tell you the extent to which the child is deviating from what is expected for that age. Okay, so if the child is 5 years old, for example, the test can tell you, oh, the language of this child is at 3 years old, or the language of this child is at 2 years old. Okay? That's what standard tests do for you, and you have specialists who use standard tests. For example, the picture in front of you is the preschool language skill. You can see the manipulatives, those are the props, like toys. Those toys are standardized for specific language skills that you can look at for, okay? So we now have the informal speech assessment tools. Those ones are non-standardized. Some of them are developed by test developers, while some can be developed by you yourself. Yes, you can develop your own tools that you will use for assessment, but you just need to understand what to look out for. What to look out for is very important before you can develop your own assessment. Trust me, most parents can even tell you what their kids can do and what their kids cannot do because they are always with their kids all the time. If you are a therapist, for example, you need to know the knowledge of language itself. What are those things that make up a language? That will help you know what to test for, what to develop your tool for. We're going to go into that briefly, okay? What the informal assessment tools, what they do for us is they quickly give us an idea that can quickly help us set goals and also monitor the goals. They are quite fast and they are less expensive too. They are less expensive compared to the standardized test score. And the informal one, almost everyone can use it, unlike the formal one. The formal one are highly specialized. So let's look at those common features. If you want to develop your own test tool, your own assessment tools, what are those things you might need to put into consideration when developing those things? So you want to look at phonology, which is sound, the sounds of words. So like apple, the sound in apple, the sounds are a and those are the sounds in apple. For ball, you have b, okay? Those are the sounds you have in ball. And if you take ba, na, you have ba, a. So you have those sounds. So you want to test for whether a child is producing a sound correctly or incorrectly. You want to develop tools that can assess English sounds in the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, and in the final position. What am I trying to say? If you want to test for the sound in the beginning of the word, will be like pot. So you want to know whether the child is saying hot instead of pot, or the child is saying tot instead of pot. So apple will be in the middle of the word. Cap will be at the end of a word. So if you want to develop your own assessment tool for phonology, so you have to take all the English sounds. All the English sounds that you test for are all the consonants. In speech, we look at the consonants, not the vowels. So you start with b, d, k. So you don't do a, you don't do e, that is the a, e, I, o, u. We don't test for that. You only test for all the consonants, okay? And the consonants in the middle of the word, in the beginning of the word, and in the final position. So you just get flashcards that can help you test for those sounds. So the next one will be morphology, how you build words. So you should be able to ask the child for whole words. If you put a picture of banana, picture of a baby, and the picture of a bottle on the table, and you ask the child, get me ball, or get me bottle, or give me the, whatever object you have, can that child identify it? So you're talking about words and how you form the words. Those are the things you're looking for. You can develop flashcards. You can use proper materials and test for that. The next one is syntax. That's actual sentences. You want to test how the child can understand sentences. So you can put a sentence like, the boy is singing and the girl is singing. Pictures. So you tell the child, show me the boy is singing, and see if the child can point to the boy singing or point to the girl singing. So sentences, or you have two completely different sentences. The girl is eating and the girl is jumping. So you place those two pictures on the table, you ask the child, give me the girl is jumping, or show me the girl is, eating or sleeping, whatever. You can even use preposition. Show me the ball is on the table, or show me the ball is under the table. So you have those pictures in front of you. You text sentences. So you can have varied cards like that. Or the child just woke up, child is going to bed, or the picture of it is night time, or the picture of it is daytime. So you're talking about syntax. You can develop flashcards like that and use it to assess whether the child understands that aspect of language. That's the receptive part. You can do the expressive part, where you are asking the child, what's the child doing? What's this girl doing? Or what's the boy doing? Or what can you see in the picture? So you have the expressive part, you have the receptive part. And the other piece you can also look out for is the semantics. That's the actual meaning that the child can get from the card. This time around, he's not talking about what the child sees in the flashcard. This time around, it's talking about how the child interprets what's on the flashcard. For example, you have the picture of cat and dog falling from the sky with an umbrella. Then you have the horse talking. So you ask the child, show me the picture that shows it's raining heavily. Of course, remember, it's raining cat and dog. It's a figurative language. So the meaning you get from it's raining cat and dog is that it's raining torrentially. That means raining heavily. The same thing, I had it from the person's mouth. Tell me which of the pictures shows that I had it from the horse's mouth. So it's the meaning you get. That is semantics. So it goes beyond the literal meaning you give, everyday literal meaning. Of course, this has to do with age and where the child is. Then the pragmatics too have to do with words that we use regularly. Thank you, bye-bye, welcome. Like, what do you say when you mistakenly hurt somebody? Accidentally hurt some. You say sorry. What do you say when someone gives you something? You say thank you. Okay, you tell me someone is waving goodbye. You can make those flashcards and can use it to assess children. Okay? Now, that's about language. Okay. So you have different oral tools, like the straw, like the tongue depressor or spatula, even the spoon you use in eating. Okay? These are very good oral tools. You can combine them with honey, where you take honey and you help the child to bring out the tongue to lick the honey. Okay? Helping the tongue, you can put it to this side and the child can try to pick the honey. The idea of moving the tongue helps. For people that like peanut butter, you can use spoon as a very good oral tool. You have the bubbles, you have the flute. You can use straw too. There are different types of straw that you can use. Okay? Some are the regular straws, some are actually speech tools that you can use to strengthen the oral musculature. Okay, you can also use the speech mirror that gives immediate feedback for correct and incorrect place and manner of articulation. These are very important as devices to correct receptive and expressive language and cognition too, for which you're looking at how it can benefit the individual, especially in intervention, as well as how the individual communication can compare with same age. Difference. Ladies and gentlemen, so sorry about the connectivity issue, but it's to more.